Hello and welcome once again to the Tagore Festival 2021 organized by Bishwobeena-Harmony with Tagore. Let me take this opportunity to thank you all around the world for being with us and for your feedback throughout this festival. I would also like to thank our sponsors, Multicultural New South Wales and Parramatta Motor Group, for their support in delivering this festival. When we designed this festival, we dedicated a whole segment to connect with Tagore enthusiasts around the world. That is what we have been showcasing, a series of events throughout the month of July. We started with our very own Bishwobeena-Harmony with Tagore, and so far you have watched presentations from Tagore Society of Houston, Vancouver Tagore Society, and Tokyo University of Foreign Studies, Department of Bengali. Our sincere gratitude to all these organizations for responding to our invitation and sharing their journey exclusively for this Tagore Festival. Our last stop for this segment is United Kingdom. Today, we connect with an organization which has a legacy of 55 years behind them. Probably one of the oldest Tagore centers around. Yes, I'm talking about the Tagoreans, London. Our festival curator, Sounak Chattopadhyay, had the privilege to have a conversation with a few senior members of the Tagoreans. It is so very kind of them to share their story with us, and also they have shared some rare video clips for our audience. So without further delay, let us welcome the Tagoreans UK to the Bishwobeena Tagore Festival 2021. Thank you.
অসীম কালে যে হিল্লোলে জোয়ার ভাটায় ভুবন দোলে অসীম কালে যে হিল্লোলে জোয়ার ভাটায় ভুবন দোলে নারীতে মোর রক্ত ধারা লেগেছে তার টান নিশ্চয়ে তাই জাগে জাগে আমার গা
পা ফেলেছি, বনের পথে যেতে ফুলের গন্ধে চমক লেগে উঠেছে মন মেতে, ছড়িয়ে আছে আনন্দের দাম, বিস্ময়ে তাই জাগে জাগে আমার গান,
কান পেতেছি, চোখ মেলেছি ধরার বুকে, প্রাণ ঢেলেছি, কান পেতেছি, চোখ মেলেছি ধরার বুকে, প্রাণ ঢেলেছি।
জানার মাঝে অজানা রে করেছি সন্ধ্যা, বিস্ময়ে তাই জাগে জাগে আমার গান, আকাশ ভরা সূর্য তারা,
বিশ্ব ভরা প্রাণ, তাহারি মাঝখানে আমি পেয়েছি, আমি পেয়েছি মোর স্থান, বিস্ময়ে তাই জাগে জাগে আমার গান, আকাশ ভরা।
নমস্কার, আমি মনীষা স্মিথ, টেগোরিয়ান্সের চেয়ারপারসন। প্রথমেই আমি টেগোরিয়ান্সের পক্ষ থেকে উদ্যোক্তাদের অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি আমাদের এই অনলাইন টেগোর ফেস্টিভ্যালে আমন্ত্রণ জানানোর জন্য। আপনারা প্রথমেই যে গানটি শুনলেন সেটি গত বছর করোনা মহামারীর কারণে আমাদের প্রথম অনলাইন রবীন্দ্র জয়ন্তী অনুষ্ঠানে আমাদের শিল্পীদের যার যার ঘরে বসে গাওয়া একটি কোরাস। ব্রিটেনের রবীন্দ্র চর্চার সবচেয়ে পুরনো সংস্থা এই টেগোরিয়ান্স। শান্তিনিকেতনের প্রাক্তন ছাত্র তপন গুপ্ত ও তার স্ত্রী গৈরিকা গুপ্ত লন্ডনে 1965 সালের মে মাসে এই সংস্থাটি প্রতিষ্ঠা করেন তাদের বন্ধু শান্তিনিকেতনেরই সুপ্রিয় ঠাকুর, শুভ্রা ঠাকুর আর রবীন্দ্র মনস্ক আরও কয়েকজন বন্ধুকে সঙ্গে নিয়ে। দীর্ঘ 55 বছরের ওপর বিদেশের মাটিতে রবীন্দ্র চর্চার ক্ষেত্রে একটা বিশেষ অবদান রেখেছে টেগোরিয়ান্স। বিশাল পরিসরে নানা ধরনের বর্ণাঢ্য, বৈচিত্র্যময় ও স্মরণীয় অনুষ্ঠান করে সাংস্কৃতিক পরিমণ্ডলে প্রচুর সম্মান আর খ্যাতি অর্জন করেছে আমাদের এই সংস্থা। আমাদের অনবদ্য ও ঐতিহাসিক কিছু অনুষ্ঠানের কথায় আসব একটু পরে। আমাদের যাত্রা শুরু হয়েছিল ইউরোপের বিভিন্ন দেশে শ্যামা আর চণ্ডালিকা নৃত্যনাট্য দিয়ে। ইউরোপের রবীন্দ্র নৃত্যনাট্যের পরিবেশনায় টেগোরিয়ান্স ছিল পথিকৃৎ। ব্রিটেনের বিভিন্ন শহরে তো বটেই, একই সঙ্গে জার্মানি, অস্ট্রিয়া, সুইডেন আর হল্যান্ডে টেগোরিয়ান্স প্রতি বছর নৃত্যনাট্য নিয়ে ট্যুরে যেত। পরবর্তীতে আমরা চিত্রাঙ্গদা করেছি গুজরাটি ভাষায়, করেছি ভানু সিংহের পদাবলী আর বাল্মীকি প্রতিভা। যতদূর আমরা জানি, রবীন্দ্রনাথের অপেরা স্টাইলে লন্ডনে বাল্মীকি প্রতিভা প্রথম মঞ্চস্থ করেছিল টেগোরিয়ান্স। গানগুলো শিল্পীরা লাইভ না গাইলেও নিজেদের গাওয়া গানে লিপ দিয়ে শিল্পীরা মঞ্চে তাদের চরিত্রগুলো উপস্থাপন করে দারুণ প্রশংসিত হয়েছিলেন। বিভিন্ন সংস্থার আমন্ত্রণে বাল্মীকি প্রতিভা আমরা করেছি দিল্লি, মুম্বাই আর কলকাতাতেও। এতগুলো বছরে নানা আঙ্গিকের নানা অনুষ্ঠানের মধ্যে দিয়ে রবীন্দ্র প্রতিভার বিভিন্ন দিক, তাঁর দর্শন ও ভাবনাকে আমরা ছড়িয়ে দেওয়ার চেষ্টা করেছি। নৃত্য, সঙ্গীত, সেমিনার, ওয়ার্কশপ, নাটক ও আবৃত্তির মধ্যে দিয়ে তাঁর ভাবনাকে তুলে ধরার পাশাপাশি আমরা রবীন্দ্রসঙ্গীতের সঙ্গে পাশ্চাত্য নৃত্যের মেলবন্ধন নিয়েও কাজ করেছি। হিন্দি চলচ্চিত্রের শতবর্ষ পূর্তিতে জনপ্রিয় এই ছায়াছবির জগতে কবিগুরুর গানের প্রভাব নিয়ে আমরা নিবেদন করেছি গবেষণাধর্মী একটি অনুষ্ঠান। এই পর্বে দেখুন আমাদের বিভিন্ন অনুষ্ঠানের কয়েক ঝলক।
চিত্রাঙ্গনা
Whatever will you do next? Past noon, and the blistering sun, and the earth too hot for the feet. The morning's water was drawn long ago, and the other girls in the village have all taken their pots home, yet you sit and roast in the baking sun for no reason at all.
No reason? Why? I'm doing penance.
Good heavens! And for whom?
Someone whose call has come to me.
সাগরে কোথায় দাঁড়ায় দুবাহু বাড়ায় নবী নর দেবতারে উদার ছন্দে পরমানন্দে বন্দর করি তারে ধ্যান গম্ভীর এই যে ভূধর নদী জপমালা ধৃত প্রান্তর এথায় নিত্য হের পবিত্র ধরিত্রী রে এই ভারতের মহামানবের সাগর তীরে জাগরে বীরে কেহ নাহি জানে কার আহ্বানে কত মানুষের ধারা দুর্বার স্রোতের কোথা হতে সমুদ্রে হলো হারা কত মানুষের ধারা
হৃদয় আমার নাচে রে আজকে ময়ূরের মতো নাচে রে হৃদয় নাচে রে শতবরণের ভাব উচ্ছ্বাস কলাপের মতো করেছে বিকাশ আগুলো করার আকাশে চালিয়া উল্লাসে তারে যাচে রে হৃদয় আমার নাচে রে আজকে ময়ূরের মতো নাচে রে হৃদয় নাচে রে
হৃদয় আমার নাচে রে আজকে ময়ূরের মতো নাচে রে নাচে রে হৃদয় আমার নাচে রে আজকে ময়ূরের মতো নাচে রে নাচে রে শতবরণের ভাব উচ্ছ্বাস কলাপের মতো করেছে বিকাশ শতবরণের ভাব উচ্ছ্বাস কলাপের মতো করেছে বিকাশ আগুন করার আকাশে চাহিয়া উল্লাসে কালে নাচে রে হৃদয় আমার নাচে রে আজকে ময়ূরের মতো নাচে রে নাচে রে
যদি আলো না হবে যদি ঝড় বদলে আধার হবে দুয়ার গায়ে হবে তবে বদলালে আপন বুকের কদর জ্বালিয়ে নিয়ে একলা চলো রে আপন বুকের কদর জ্বালিয়ে নিয়ে একলা চলো রে তবে একলা চলো একলা চলো একলা চলো একলা চলো রে তবে একলা চলো একলা চলো একলা চলো একলা চলো রে যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে
Greetings, friends. It's wonderful to connect to all of you once again. Till now, we were all kind of very deeply engaged and engrossed with the details of various productions that the Tagoreans London had been presenting for the last more than 50 years, I believe. And we just saw various glimpses of some of the wonderful productions, the dance dramas, etc., that they have been conducting and presenting to the audiences of England, in London, and in different parts of Europe, in fact. And now I think the entire scope of the activities of the Tagoreans is, just beyond the capacity of just a few photographs or video clippings. So ideally, I would now wish to talk and know about these events, about these various presentations that they've been doing, and in general about the philosophy and the history of Tagoreans from the horse's mouth. And we have two wonderful individuals with us today. We have Srimati Manushi Bodua, who is the General Secretary of the Tagoreans, and we also have with us Sri Jayanto Rai. Jayantuda is the Artistic Director of Tagoreans London. So may I request Manushidi and Jayantuda to please join me, I was going to say on stage, but on the screen, on the virtual screen as it is. Namaskar. Thank you, Manushidi and Jayanto Rai. Jayanto Rai, it is an absolute pleasure to have both of you. It's a pleasure amongst many pains that kind of has been inflicted on us at this particular point of time. We are all still very much housebound due to the pandemic, and but it still feels very refreshing to connect with all of you in a Tagore Festival that's being initiated by an organization in Sydney, and here I'm sitting in Calcutta, and here you are in London. So
Absolutely.
we do feel connected despite the social distancing issues. So here we are not distant, we feel very connected. I feel very connected.
And we are also very grateful.
We absolutely thanks for this opportunity to have this discussion and this conversation with you.
Pleasure. The pleasure is all ours, and I'm sure our viewers will also have a very good time, and they'll feel enriched and enlightened to know about the wonderful activities of the Tagoreans that you have been presenting. Rather, the Tagoreans has been presenting for, it's been more than 50 years. Am I right, Manushidi?
Yes, 55.
55 years. Oh, that's absolutely wonderful. This was it in 19, when did it start? Which year did it start?
We started in 1965.
1965. I'm terrible with my math, so please do forgive me for not being able to calculate. 1965. Okay, so that's way before I was even born. So what typically used to be the first events or the first kind of presentations that the Tagoreans did in London or in other parts of Europe?
Well, you actually heard that we started our journey with dance dramas performing all over Europe.
Okay.
In the 60s, when basically the Tagorean started its journey, that's what they did. They actually made a tour of their dance dramas in different cities in Europe.
Okay. So how would it typically, because the dance drama usually consists of music, dance, singing, dance, and music, so combination. So all the participants were from London at that point of time, or did you kind of outsource or bring anyone in usually?
The dancers were all from London, but what actually happened was that late Rabindra Sangeet singer Maya Sen, she took the responsibility for recording the music part of the dance dramas. So she actually sang in the lead roles herself with her students, and she also arranged all the music and, you know, where different bowls would come and the musical accompaniment, like in Chandalika when Prakiti's mother was doing the voodoo dance, or in Shama when Uttiyo would be executed, what kind of bowls would be played, the drum rolls and all sorts of musical accompaniment. She pre-recorded everything. And the dancers would be from among the members of the Tagoreans. Monisha Smith was one of them. You heard her at the beginning. And the founder members, Topunda and Goirikadi, both were ex-students of Shantiniketan. So Goirikadi would choreograph, and Topunda actually danced Doiwala in Chandalika. So, you know, one thing that, if I may mention, that in those days in Europe, particularly the Europeans, they had no idea about what Tagore's dance drama would entail. And as the documents go within our organization, I've read that, you know, that the steel plant workers actually came to see Shama in a city called Linz in Austria. and they apparently cried throughout the show, you know. And also in Rotterdam, people were fighting for tickets on the streets, and they basically clashed, you know, which are really fascinating experiences they had at the time. But as I was saying, that on the musical side, Maya Shen was a pillar of support for the organization.
Absolutely.
Right.
And Manushidi, just to add to that, if I may, it's not just for the dance dramas that she was such an integral part, providing the music tracks, you know, lending her own voice to the main characters. Actually, what she did was this wonderful initiative. She took the responsibility of recording music tracks for 20 very popular, very catchy Robindra Sangit. So what she did was she took the trouble herself, conducted the music herself. She got top instrumentalists from Kolkata like Biplab Mondol, Babuda, Subroto Mukherjee, and many other musicians of that stature to do studio recordings of all of these music tracks. So she would teach the songs to the Tagoreans. She would get the tracks organized, and she kind of provided all of this. Really, her objective was that she felt that we should never suffer from a lack of suitable musical accompaniment, and the experience and you know, our own kind of journey should remain, you know, kind of unfettered in every way. So you can imagine, Shaunak, that this has been a great support for the Tagoreans all through the years. We at the drop of a hat, one could go and perform, you know, without the rigmarole of having, you know, a very massive troupe, let's say. More recently, actually, this surprisingly came to our aid, as you mentioned, the lockdown. So, you know, for the last 15, 18 months, we are finding ourselves in various stages of house arrest and lockdown. So the Tagoreans actually conceived and executed our first online show ever at the beginning of the pandemic in 2020. And we only did that because we were able to kind of shake the dust off the music tracks that Mayadi had conducted for us so many years ago. So those became the basis of some of the performances. And to be honest, we've been thanking her and, you know, kind of, remembering her very fondly, and really, really admiring the foresight that she showed, you know, with getting all of these organized. And as we are talking about Maya Shen, I believe yet another dimension where she has been absolutely integral for the Tagoreans is in Kolkata. So over the years, it's not only in UK and Europe, but over the years, the Tagoreans have performed various shows in Kolkata and Shantiniketan, actually in various cities of India. So we've taken dance dramas to other cities as well. So during her lifetime, Maya Shen used to be the pillar even in those events. She would teach the performers the songs, she would arrange the music, she would organize the event, she would basically conduct the ceremony, she would select the songs, work on the script and everything else. Most importantly, she would invite to these events some of the leading Robindra Sangit exponents of Kolkata at the time. And it was a real honor for the Tagoreans to be sharing the stage with stalwarts like Promita Mollik, Promita Mashi, Shagota Lokhi Dasgupta, Shapna Ghoshal, Joyoti Ghosh, Joyasri Dasgupta, Biplab Mondol, Babuda, Subroto Mukherjee, many, many others. And you can imagine the honor, the privilege that we were sharing the platform, sharing the stage, rubbing shoulders with these stalwarts and actually all performing in the same event, only thanks to Maya Shen and her initiatives and her lead in this.
And actually, one other thing, in 1986, when we organized a month-long Tagore Festival, she had played a very, very important role in the organization of the whole festival.
1986 was the 125th birth year of Rabindranath. So there was a very elaborate Tagore Festival, I believe, which I know, organized by the Tagoreans. Just maybe we did see the photographs and etc. But maybe from you, a few details of that, if you remember anything from
Yes, I mean, obviously, I mean, that was the first Tagore Festival in the UK, which was organized by the Tagoreans to celebrate 125th birth anniversary of Tagore. And it was a month-long festival, and it happened basically we performed on different venues in London, outside London, in 12 major cities in England, and it was a huge celebration. The inaugural program was held at the prestigious Queen Elizabeth Hall.
Oh, wow.
And yes, and we had really legendary singers like Shantidev Ghosh, Konika Bandyopadhyay, Maya Sen performing there, Ustad Ali Akbar Khan,
Oh, wow.
Ustad Imrat Khan, Alokananda Roy. She danced. Supriyo Thakur, Supriyo Das, he came. Rezwana Chaudhuri Bonna, she came. And also,
Rezwana in 1986. Oh, she must have been really young at that time.
yes, and that was again her first performance in London. Yes. We also had students of Pacho Bhavan performing. In fact, the singers, dancers, musicians, academics, speakers, altogether more than 150 participants
Oh my God.
came from all over the world, India and Bangladesh, of course, but outside France, Japan, Korea, and Israel. So it was a huge, huge thing. And we not only performed dances and songs, plays, dramas, seminars, workshop. We also had a week-long film festival based on Tagore's stories shown at the National Film Theatre. Also had a month-long exhibition of Tagore's paintings at the Barbican Arts Center.
Oh, wow.
So it was a huge thing. I mean, you had never seen anything like that on the soil of Britain. And basically, the Tagoreans, all the time, whenever they embarked on a project, they wanted to do something which was unique and which hadn't been done before, pioneering, path-breaking. And another event, if I may mention, we organized in 1989. It was to celebrate Jawaharlal Nehru's birth centenary in 1989. And the main program was held again at a prestigious venue, which was Royal Festival Hall.
Oh, wow.
And in that program was actually presided over by, my goodness, Sir Richard Attenborough.
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
And
this is very interesting. So the Tagoreans have not only kind of remained in the confines of the works or the celebration or festival relating to Rabindranath Tagore directly, but this Nehru Festival is something which is quite beyond the scope of a typical Tagore festival. So
exactly,
this is very interesting.
And at the main program, Ustad Ali Akbar Khan performed. He was accompanied on tabla by Ustad Allah Rakha, and he actually created a special raga. He named it Rituraj, dedicated that to Jawaharlal Nehru. And when we had the Tagore Festival, Ustad Ali Akbar Khan created another beautiful new raga, dedicated that to Tagore, and he named it Nandini. And he was accompanied on tabla by Pandit Shopun Chaudhary.
This is unbelievable. I can't remember a similar incident, anything of the sort that has ever happened in Calcutta, not that I can think of, that when a musician is performing something which is dedicated to an individual in a particular festival and he composes a rag actually only exclusively for that sage festival. I don't think I can remember any parallel of this.
No, this is really historic, Sean.
This is historic, really
yeah. And not many people know, because somebody like Ustad Ali Akbar Khan doing that, it's unimaginable.
It's absolutely. In fact, we were listening to quite a bit of music. I was wondering if we did listen to any of this, any clip from Ali Akbar Khan Sahib's music in the the opening
No,
montage that we
what we heard initially, right at the beginning, and we will do at the end, is a little bit of Ustad Imrat Khan's
Okay.
piece on the Shetar. So that was he too was involved both in the Nehru Festival and the Tagore Festival, 1986 and 89.
No,
And the
not
piece
in the Nehru Festival. He participated in the Tagore Festival.
in the Tagore Festival.
Created this special rag, again dedicating that to Tagore.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what we heard at the beginning, which is Rag Gitanjali, I think.
Oh, wow, so wonderful. So wonderful. So can we, it really gives me goosebumps to think of these wonderful legendary musicians dedicating a piece of music exclusively for a festival and for Tagore. Can we just hear a glimpse of the recording of Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahab at this point, maybe? So if you could just play this very, very special little piece of audio, just a snippet for our audience, and just enjoy the music for a second and for a few minutes, and we'll come right back.
These are the ascending notes, descending. Descending.
This was such a mesmerizing experience. I mean, I could try to imagine myself seated at the auditorium when this piece was being actually played and performed live by Khan Sahab. A musician par excellence of that stature, dedicating something to our very own dear seer poet Rabindranath. This is absolutely mind-blowing.
I know exactly what you mean, Sounak. And I guess if we ever had the opportunity again at a future time, Manushidi mentioned Ritu Raj, the other rag that Ustad Ali Akbar Khan composed during the Nehru Festival, dedicated to Nehru. We, at a later point, I'm sure we can try and reach that out to audiences as well. Again, these
Absolutely.
are goosebump moments, for everybody, I think. And it's very interesting. I mean, I am also quite recently in the Tagoreans, 65, etc., way before I was here. But it's really amazing in the 80s when we had these great personalities, as you have said, personalities from the field of Indian classical music, who have been so intricately involved with the Tagoreans, over the years. And their respect towards Tagore, the love that they have shown towards Tagore, their close association with the Tagoreans, really a lot of people today aren't aware of these facts.
Exactly.
So, we are eternally grateful to you for giving us this opportunity to have this discussion. And I hope to bring some of this to the attention of people. Hopefully everyone's getting a perspective of the long and impactful journey that this organization has had over the decades. The multifaceted nature of our works, trying to showcase Tagore's multifaceted personality, and actually, as you've said, going beyond Tagore into various other we haven't restricted ourselves to song and dance and music. It has gone far, far beyond that.
Exactly. I mean, obviously, our journey has been really long, and to talk about everything that we have done over the years, I think it's going to take more than 55 hours or maybe longer, Sounak.
I can imagine.
Which I don't think you can afford. But we have talked about 2 major festivals, and we have talked about dance dramas, but we have other activities that we had we had pursued over the years, like drama. We have actually staged plays ourselves. We have invited eminent artists to perform, like Sounak Chattopadhyay and Kaushik Sen. In 1997, at our invitation, they performed their famous play Tik Tiki on a London stage. And somebody of Soumitra's stature, I mean, that was his first ever play in London that he had staged. Rudra Prasad Sengupta, Shatilekha Sengupta, they had presented 3 plays at our invitation. We had invited the very renowned drama group in Bangladesh called Nagorik. They performed for us. Yes. So again, our former chairperson, Sujit Bhattacharjee, he took some initiative in organizing seminars talking about different aspects of Tagore, and we had the privilege of speakers like Amartya Sen, historian Professor Tapan Rai Chaudhuri, William Radici, Sunil Ganguly, writer Shankar, then art historian Partho Mitter, playwright Tonika Gupta, many more, sort of people who researched on Tagore. They had given their views, talked about different dimensions of Tagore's sort of universalism, his creativity.
If I may just ask a small question over here. You did mention Soumitra Babu and Kaushik Sen's presentation of Tik Tiki. So these various theatre that you had in London in by Tagoreans, they were not, again, necessarily restricted to only plays of Tagore. So they could be other contemporary plays and dramas, right?
Yes,
absolutely. I think it's been our endeavor to just bring a lot of these, these great names to come over here to perform for audiences in the UK, to perform with us, as well as simultaneously having our own performances.
But what actually happened, during that trip, Soumitra had a session of recitation where he recited Tagore's poems. So that was actually not a part of that drama evening, but it was done separately. But as Joyanta was saying, we hadn't really restricted ourselves to Tagore's dramas. We actually staged other plays, Tagore plays as well, which we did, like Dalia. We had done quite a few Tagore plays.
Wonderful. And this tradition of having a varied kind of performance, a myriad kind of performances and presentation, this continues even into the 21st century. This continues even till date. Do you keep having such sessions or collaborations?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I mean, it's been our, so, maybe previously we would do many different events on different topics, let's say, with Rabindranath's different areas of expertise, or even outside, going beyond Tagore. I think over recent times, we have tried to be more innovative with our format. So we often choose a particular theme, but we try and showcase Tagore's versatile creative genius, in a single production itself. And maybe this allows me to talk about one of our most recent, one of our greatest probably achievements, and one of our moments of greatest pride, I think, for all of us in the Tagoreans, which was a historical performance at the world famous Shakespeare's Globe Theatre in London.
Oh, wow.
Which we are truly privileged, truly honored as the Tagoreans to have been able to perform there. So to set the scene, this was in 2017, in the month of September. The Globe Theatre, that was India's 70th year of independence. If my maths is as bad as yours,
yeah. 2017 was.
And during that year, the Globe had decided to embark on a 3-month-long festival of Indian independence.
Okay.
And they chose that as part of that festival, they wanted Tagore to be showcased for the first time in Shakespeare's Globe. And they invited the Tagoreans. We were given the honor of choosing a production to be staged as part of that event. And we chose a multi-dimensional project. Obviously, it was keeping in mind Western audiences. So the performance we had in mind, it was on the theme of awakening of the human soul, as well as the awakening of nationalism, if you like, which is all part of Tagore's works and, through Tagore's creations. It not only had songs, dances, excerpts from dance dramas, but we took excerpts from plays. We did a segment of Ghore Baire in there. We did some short story readings and recitations over there. We had some poems interspersed with songs. So it was a very it was like a kaleidoscope, so to say, of different aspects of Tagore in a day. And that experience was absolutely mind-blowing. It is such a delight to see a packed auditorium, primarily with white faces, English faces, who had come to experience Tagore, as part of this event. And let me tell you a little bit about the venue itself. The stage is split on 2 different levels. So the upper story is like a balcony. So it's it's like if you picture a rectangular space, one of the sides of the rectangle is this balcony where the singers, the elocutors, the musicians were based. Some of us standing, some of us sitting while we rendered our performances. And the lower part, the main stage, is where simultaneously you had the dancers, the actors, the theater, the story reading, etc. going on. So, it felt like we were, I don't know, sitting in Jorashako Thakurbari, maybe in the Thakur Dalan, and performing there. And another unique feature of this auditorium, a bit scary at first, but absolutely enchanting at the end, is that they have by design no electrical features. So they do not allow any artificial
lights.
Any light, sound, nothing. So there is no technology that can be used to enhance the performance.
So there is no microphones.
No microphones, no electric lighting. So they have hundreds and hundreds of candles. So these are chandeliers that are lit all through the auditorium. They actually, at the interval, they bring the chandeliers down and they replace all the candles so that the second half is well lit. And you can imagine, both as a member of audience as well as a performer, this is, it's a different experience. So the acoustics are superb, and to be performing there, in that kind of an environment, really, this has been probably one of the memories that we as Tagoreans will cherish for the rest of our lives. It is.
Let us actually show you a picture here.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. So this is a picture, if you may just say what exactly that is for the audience.
This picture actually shows the auditorium with all the chandeliers, candle-lit chandeliers and performance. I mean, just look at the grandeur.
Absolutely beautiful. We don't get to see such things. At least I never have seen such a thing in this part of the world. Neither have I had the opportunity of visiting the globe as even a tourist. It reminds me very faintly of the beautiful chandelier at the Phantom of the Opera, which I saw in
Yes.
London for the first time. So beautiful.
Yes,
I mean,
no, it's an absolutely different experience. I want to be experienced, and one that will be with us for forever. And I think
right.
the one thing to add on is, as part of the event in Globe, along with the performers at the Tagoreans, we were privileged to have performing with us for the first time our dear friend, someone known to all three of us very, very closely, a well-known musician and singer, our friend Sasha Ghoshal. So he came to
Okay.
perform with us for the first time in 2017. And ever since then, he's actually been an integral part of the Tagoreans. He's actually, as you know, he's relocated to the UK. So he's very much involved with a lot of our productions. Not only has he been performing with us, he has been conducting our rehearsals, teaching the songs, giving his input towards the script, towards the overall music direction of all our projects, and has become really one of us, another member of our Tagorean family, which we are very privileged for. And for the last 2 years, initially, when the world was a normal place, and latterly during lockdown, he has been doing regular Robindra Sangeet workshops with all of us, helping all of us at the Tagoreans to keep our flag of Tagore and our musical endeavors flying high. So, Sasha remains very much a part of our journey at this point.
And he seems to be just the right person, especially in the perspective of Globe in theatre, because he is not only a brilliant singer, but he's actually professionally qualified to work on musical theatre as a genre. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. And he did a number of different items there. The finale segment was Tashe Desh. As you know, Sasha himself has been working on an English transliteration of Tashe Desh. He in this context, we had scripted this element. Again, it was all in English, but the way, the energy and the enthusiasm and the sheer performance, it was a fitting finale to the whole event. So absolutely.
That is absolutely wonderful. In fact, I believe that Sasha's guru and my guru, Promita Mashi, has also been very closely associated with the Tagoreans.
Very, very
Manushi
closely.
did mention her, in fact, as one of the artists. Am I correct?
Yes, you are correct. In fact, in 1988, Promita made her debut performance in London for the Tagoreans. And in a program called Voices of Bengal, Banglar Kontho, it was a major sort of cultural festival that we had staged over a week. So she performed there. And ever since, she has been performing with us in the UK, in London, also in Calcutta. Sometimes she would do solo performance. Sometimes she would sing with us, which is a privilege really for us to be on, sharing the stage with somebody like Promita. It's a huge thing. And not only Tagore songs, Promita also did a program for us recently on Bangla Rangomancher Gan, sort of songs which were performed for theaters, Bengali theaters, and also how Tagore songs were used in plays, in dramas, on stage. So that was a very, very informative, excellent program that she had performed. She, again, conducted workshop with Tagoreans members and other Tagore enthusiasts in London, holding classes over Zoom during this pandemic period. Another thing that I would like to mention, that Promita had shared one of her scripts with us in 2019, on the basis of which we had done a program on Gurudev and Mahatma. Maya Sen became basically one of us in our initial years, Promita had become another person who had become a very, very close member of our Tagoreans family. And, she has helped us through our journey. And all these great musicians, who really basically helped us in our journey throughout the years and allowed us to hold our musical flags, to hoist the flag of Robindra Songit and Shurer Agun and, in Bengali, if I may say, যেসব গুণী শিল্পীরা রবীন্দ্রনাথের সুরের আলোয় আমাদের যেভাবে উদ্ভাসিত করেছিলেন, হ্যাঁ, আমরা আশা করছি আগামী দিনগুলোতেও সেই সুরের আগুন আমরা ছড়িয়ে দিতে পারবো. We would like to spread the magic of Tagore's music, Tagore's creative genius to the outside world.
Absolutely, আপনারা সেটা অলরেডি করেছেন এবং সেই জ্যোতিতে আমরা সকলেই ব্যক্তিগতভাবে আমি আমার কথা বলছি না, ইংল্যান্ডের মানুষ, লন্ডনের মানুষ, ইউরোপের মানুষ উদ্ভাসিত হয়েছেন, তাদের উপরেও সেই আলো এসে পড়েছে. It's been such a privilege talking to both of you, and I can imagine that this really the entire history, the entire paths along which Tagoreans have been traveling for the last 55 years, it cannot be confined in the span of 1 hour or half an hour or whatever. But unfortunately, as it were, that's all we have in this particular session. But it's been such a pleasure, and I really got to see in my mind's eye certain glimpses as both of you were describing, as we were seeing the montage earlier and some of the photographs and the audio clips that were being played. So it was really wonderful to have both of you, and this also kind of strikes a chord within me that what Maya Sen, the legendary singer of Calcutta, she's pretty much worshipped by all of us who are students of Rabindra Songit. So she was the first kind of torchbearer, and then eventually Promita Mashi would, my guru, Sasha's guru, and a living legend today, Promita Mashi would take it up, and then it's already gone to the next generation. Sasha is already become a part of the family of Tagoreans. And if there's a little space on a seat beside Sasha, maybe I'll also just go and sit there for a while someday.
We are waiting for that opportunity to arise.
Yes. No, we are so privileged, Sounak, to have all these stalwarts, sort of helping us along our journey. And Sounak, a huge thanks from me, from Jayanto, from everybody in the Tagoreans for giving us the opportunity to talk about our long journey and sharing our experiences with you and others who are viewing this. And our huge thanks to the organizer, Bishwobeena-Harmony with Tagore, for giving us the opportunity and the platform. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been the conception, and I'm just kind of acting on behalf of them, which is an absolute pleasure. So you were just talking about Shure Ragun and the glory and that Jyoti of Rabindranath. So maybe we should end this session with a glimpse, with a sparkle of that light, of that Jyoti. So as far as the talking part is concerned, as far as the conversation is concerned, so that's it. That's all we have for all our dear viewers and audience. And I think it's only befitting that a session like this be ended with, again, a very beautiful creation, a presentation of the Tagoreans, which is the song Tumi Je Shure Ragun Lage Dile. If I'm not mistaken, this was created during the pandemic, maybe in the last year or so.
Yeah, last year.
This is last year. Once again features the track by Maya Sen that we talked about earlier. So it's all culminating in all of that. So.
Right. So legends do not die. Legends never leave us. They leave their footprints on our hearts, and not only metaphysically, they do survive in their creations. So Rabindranath survives, Mayadi survives, and we all will hope that in this extremely morbid times that we live in, Rabindranath will be able to show us paths for a better future, for a better tomorrow. So thank you, Manushidi. Thank you, Jayantoda.
Thank you,
my sincere regards to everyone in Tagoreans. And thank you, viewers. We'll end the session with a very beautiful presentation of Tumi Je Shure Ragun Lage Dile. Thank you.
যে সুরের আগুন লাগিয়ে দিলে মোর প্রাণে, এ আগুন ছড়িয়ে গেল, এ আগুন ছড়িয়ে গেল সবখানে, সবখানে, সবখানে। তুমি যে সুরের আগুন লাগিয়ে দিলে মোর প্রাণে, এ আগুন ছড়িয়ে গেল, এ আগুন ছড়িয়ে গেল সবখানে, সবখানে, সবখানে। তুমি যে সুরের আগুন লাগিয়ে দিলে মোর প্রাণে। যত সব মরা গাছের ডালে ডালে নাচে আগুন রে, যত সব মরা গাছের ডালে ডালে নাচে আগুন রে,
নাচে আগুন তালে তালে,
আকাশে হাত তুলে সে কার পানে, কার পানে, কার পানে। তুমি যে সুরের আগুন লাগিয়ে দিলে মোর প্রাণে।
আঁধারের তারা যত অবাক হয়ে রয়েছে, কোথাকার পাগল হাওয়া বইছে। আঁধারের তারা যত অবাক হয়ে রয়েছে, কোথাকার পাগল হাওয়া বইছে।
নিশীথের বুকের মাঝে এই যে অমল উঠল ফুটে রে, নিশীথের বুকের মাঝে এই যে অমল উঠল ফুটে রে,
উঠল ফুটে স্বর্ণ কমল।
আগুনের কি গুণ আছে কে জানে, কে জানে, কে জানে। তুমি যে সুরের আগুন লাগিয়ে দিলে মোর প্রাণে, এ আগুন ছড়িয়ে গেল, এ আগুন ছড়িয়ে গেল সবখানে, সবখানে, সবখানে। তুমি যে সুরের আগুন লাগিয়ে দিলে মোর প্রাণে।